Hey everybody, welcome back to the No Filter Friday show. I, of course, am John Knopick. This is going to be an abbreviated episode because I wanted to get you guys back up to speed with what's been going on in my life the last few weeks. As you guys are well aware, I've been off the grid. I had some major things going on over the last few weeks. Didn't allow me the ability to do a recording or do things to the quality that I hold myself to when it comes to recording these episodes. I hit one of the lowest points of my life a couple weeks ago, struggling with finances and job situation, but my son starting school, a bunch of other things, creating a cornucopia of stuff going through my brain, and it took its toll on my mental health, to the point where I hit some pretty low levels, where, I was even looking at, starting to sell some of my stuff that I felt I just didn't need anymore, like my PS5 or my laptop, even my cell phone. And I'll point this out, and I'll make this as crystal clear as I possibly can. At no point in my life, my 45 years here on this floating rock out in space, have I, or will I ever think about taking myself out of the equation permanently. Never crossed my mind, never started researching ways to do it or anything like that. That was never in the cards, nor would it ever be. I've got too much, no matter how low I get, no matter how bad the situation gets, I've got my wife and son that depend on me, that need me here, that need me to be present and survive and push through and battle all of the negativity and all of the stuff that I had weighing me down and the stress and the anxiety and survive for them. So with that, plus the fact that, with the mindset that I was in, there wouldn't have been a way I could have done a podcast episode and feel like it was good quality, feel like I was really giving it everything. You would have been basically seeing a zombie on camera. And I know some of you might have been like, ooh, that's pretty awesome, but it would not have been good television or good audio for anyone. That's one of the reasons why I have been MIA from doing the episodes, as well as on parts of social media. I still obviously have been on social media. I've been checking out what's going on in the world on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc. But yeah, I needed that break. I needed to take a break. And as I said, this is going to be an abbreviated episode, and just giving you guys a bit of a catch-up as far as what's been going on in my neck of the woods, in my little world. I'm still looking, once I can get back into doing this on a more frequent basis and feel like I can give you guys everything and then some that I feel this truly deserves, I do still want to get a co-host in here. I still want to get somebody that I can riff off of. I'm still trying to convince my wife to do it, because we walk around our little neighborhood 2 miles every single morning, and we just chit-chat back and forth, talk about what's going on in the world, riff back and forth, talk about issues with our family members, stuff like that. And I really feel like we can make episodes out of it, but she's not a big person that wants to be on camera. So if we ever did episodes, they would completely be audio-based only for the time being. She's getting there, but it's a slow process, and obviously I would never rush her into doing anything that she would not want to do. And she, of course, is working on her first novel that she's going to be releasing hopefully by the end of the year. And I cannot wait for you guys to read that. It's going to be phenomenal, and I know you guys are going to gravitate towards it, and it's going to take off like gangbusters. So look forward to that coming out by the end of the year as well, and I'll give you guys more details as we get closer to the publishing date. Now, in addition to battling depression and all of the stuff weighing me down, I had my sister, who is I wouldn't call her a religious fanatic, but she loves to throw Jesus and things of that nature in whenever she can. And even when I was struggling and at my lowest point, that's when you expect your friends and family to be there for you, to be like, hey, what can we do to help? I'm here to listen. I'm here to, help you feel better. But in her case, it was, oh, you've got the devil inside of you, and this isn't a good thing, and Jesus will help you get through this. And then, yeah. So, yeah, you kind of understand why I'm not a big religious person, not only because of things that have happened in my past that make me question the existence of a higher power, but that doesn't help matters either. But in addition to dealing with the depression and all of the anxiety and all of the stress that was going on in my life, I did hit the curve and came around the backside, and things actually started picking up. So much so that months ago, and I can't give you guys too many details yet for obvious reasons because of social media purposes, but several months ago, if you've ever been if you've ever gotten, like, you see it on Facebook sometimes, or depending on if you're following things on Twitter, or you have friends who have done things and you get email blasts about it. Occasionally you get these emails saying, hey, $100,000 pyramid, or password, or press your luck. They're looking for contestants, and you submit your video, you fill out you fill out an audition online, give them all your information, and then you put up a little video clip telling them why you'd feel to be a good fit for the game show. And if you're lucky enough, like what happened with me with Wheel of Fortune, you would receive an email from them saying, hey, we received your audition tape and your application, and we really think you'd be a really good fit. So we're going to have a Zoom video call for you to talk with one of the casting producers to go over a little bit more in detail what the game is, and then have you do a little quick pretend run through and see how well you do, see about your energy level, how personable you are, and go from there. And if you're lucky enough to get that call and that email, and then you do well, sometimes you will be invited to either a live casting audition in person, or like some other game shows have things they call like boot camps and stuff like that, where again, you go live to an actual sound stage, and you are still doing the audition phase. You're still there competing against other people, but you're not actually on the show yet. This is the time when you actually get to stand up in front of the actual producers, the ones who would be the ones deciding your fate. And you get to play the game, and you get to decide, you get to show them, hey, I would be the best fit, here's why, X, Y, Z. And then at that point, after all of those hoops, if you've done everything you needed to do, and they really like what they've seen, then you will receive either a phone call or an email, most likely a phone call, with the potential life-changing news, depending on the game you're going on to, saying, hey, we've got a spot for you on this show. Are you available on this date and this time? And again, I can't give you guys any specific details as far as what won, because of the fact it has not aired yet. My episode has not aired yet. Spoiler alert. But I can't tell you anything more than the fact that I did all of those hoops and went through all of them. And I did receive a call saying, hey, we want you to come and actually, potentially be on the show. And that was a unique endeavor. Wheel of Fortune was a totally different animal. Wheel of Fortune was, you're on Veterans Week, you will be guaranteed to be on the show. They have people who are going to be on the show that the producers have decided are going to be actual contestants. And then you've got alternates, because say someone gets sick or someone can't make the travel out to wherever it's being filmed at. They need alternates. Or someone has a panic attack before the show even tapes, and they just can't do it. You need alternates. So in the case of Wheel of Fortune, that was a guarantee. In my confirmation email and phone call, it was, you're going to be on the show. You are guaranteed on the show, no doubt. And that one I'm going to go into more later on in a future episode, because that one was like a dream come true, and that was one that I will always cherish immensely. In this case of the other show, the one that I'm talking about now, the more recent one, this was one where they were like, we want you to come to this studio on this date and time. And I was in a room with about, I want to say it was around 30 people. And essentially it was going to be, they were doing 6 tapings of this particular show, and there was going to be 4 people per episode. So there was 24 of us that would be getting on, and then there would be 6 alternates. And over the span of us sitting in this green room, holding area, folding chairs, and basically, we were there all day long. When I say all day, I mean all day. And there were several people that didn't even show up. So that eliminates them. That creates an opening for more people who are actually in person to get on the show. And yeah, and essentially the span of a day with this particular show was you got in a butt crack of dawn and you sat in there and waited and waited and waited and waited. You were not allowed to have any electronic equipment. You couldn't have your phone. You couldn't have your smartwatch. You couldn't have a tablet, laptop, nothing. And basically you were there to just chit chat with the other potential contestants. They gave us like puzzles, like 1,000-piece puzzle that people were trying to put together throughout the day. There were decks of cards. You could play solitaire, or they had I think they had Uno cards. They had a Jenga tower you could build. They had little snacks like Lay's potato chips, Doritos, Chips Ahoy, little bottles of water, and they were playing music and stuff. And throughout the day, they took you into different areas. Like the first part, they covered all the legality of the game show itself, all the things you could and could not do, could or could not say. And then throughout the day, they sprinkled in, okay, this group over here, you're going to go back and meet the producers, and you're going to line up in front of them, introduce yourself, explain why you're excited to be on the show. And then after that, the next step was go back, sit, wait. And then you would go into wardrobe, and you would show off all of the outfits that you brought to be on the show. You had already submitted these pictures of you in those outfits prior to you coming down to this. So they already knew what you were going to be looking like, but they wanted to see you in person. And then after that, they would approve your outfit choices. And once that was done, they had a little lunch break, and then you would go in and do some fake gameplay. Like you were actually on the show, but you weren't, because you were in a little pod and you were going through it with a person and acting like you were on the show. At the end of that, if everything went well and the producers liked you and everything was good, we then got the call that, hey, it's time to go to set. And you actually got to be on the show, the actual taping of the show, and got to play the game. Again, I can't give you any details as far as what the name of the game is, where it's going to be broadcasting, when, but all I can tell you is that it is going to be, most likely will be coming out later this year. That's essentially what I can tell you. And that I was on it. That's about it. I will give you guys more details as it comes along. And actually what I'll do is, once I'm free to tell you guys the name of the show and the date and things like that, I'm going to do a future podcast episode where I talk about game shows. And I go over my experience on Wheel of Fortune. I go over my experience on this new game show, in addition to other game shows that I had auditioned for when I lived out in California that didn't materialize, and I'll go through those as well. But yeah, so again, over the span of the last few weeks, I hit the lowest of lows, and I hit a pretty big high with that game show opportunity. And in addition to that, my financial situation has taken a significant increase. Again, I can't speak to specifics as to why. This does not have anything to do with my game show thing. So the financial situation, financial increase, has got nothing to do with that. And it's got nothing to do with peddling drugs or anything illegal, so don't worry about that. I'm not going to be arrested. There's nothing to do with that. But yeah, there are, again, things that I can't talk about, but have increased our financial situation exponentially to the point where we were actually, for the longest time, we've had just our one vehicle, and this new windfall opportunity boost has allowed us to actually secure a second vehicle that we just picked up yesterday. So in the span of about 3 weeks, I've gone from getting ready to sell all of my stuff to having a game show opportunity, having a financial boon, and now a new vehicle to allow us to be able to get our son around easier, to go to school, us to run errands and things like that, and just be able to finally get back on our feet somewhat, because we've been stuck in the mud for a very long time. And to the point where, I was still even considering bankruptcy, because even though we were making an exceptionally good amount of money with my job the way it is, we were still struggling, living paycheck to paycheck, to the point where we even fell behind a month on our rent. That's how low things got. So it's like, the state of the country and the world right now, people are like, oh, it's not so bad. But, over the 4 years that we lived in California before we had our son, from 2016 to 2020, we had the one income, and I was working at Game Show Network and then Fox Sports and then Doc Magic and stuff like that. We were able to live comfortably on one income, and we were actually paying more for a one-bedroom, one-bath apartment in California than what we're paying right now for this house that I'm currently sitting in here in Columbia, Tennessee, which is a 2-level, 4-bedroom, 2 full bath with a 2-car garage. So that tells you how bad things got financially from a world perspective from 2020 to 2024. That we live in this amazing house that was just built a year and a half ago, and we're barely able to scrape by. Where I'm actually making more money now than I was in California, and we're paying less rent than we were paying in California. But we're only able to live paycheck to paycheck. So make that make sense. But yeah, so as I said, it's everything. It's been a whirlwind roller coaster ride these last few weeks. And I appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. And those of you that, did know what was going on and reached out to me and provided support and guidance, I am eternally in your debt. And I thank you so much for trying to help save my life. It means more to me than you'll possibly know. But yeah, my intention is starting next week, I want to get back on a normal weekly rotational, putting out the episodes again. So starting this episode's going out today because it's here's what's been going on in my world, update scenario, quick little mini episode. Full episodes, my full intention is to have them start coming out again every Friday, as the name of the show is, starting with the first episode on the 22nd of August. Yeah, 22nd, because this Friday is the 15th. So yeah, that's my intention, to have it come out starting again every Friday, beginning on August 22nd. And I'm looking to come up with some ideas for episodes as well. And again, still looking for a co-host. So as always, social media handles have not changed. NFFSHOW, that's NFF Show. Reach out to me on all social media platforms. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you think. Let me know, if you hit your lowest of lows, if you've hit lowest of lows in your life before, how did you get out of them? Who did you rely on? What were what things did you go through to get you out of the doldrums? I want to know. I want to live through your guys' eyes too and see what you guys did, because who knows? That kind of feedback maybe could help somebody else who's in a bad spot, the fresh perspective and things like that. So let me know, what you guys went through and how you guys handled it. And, and if you've been on a game show before, tell me about that. Let me know about your windfalls, especially if you've been on a game show. I definitely want to know about that. So NFFSHOW. Give me all your information. Let me know about your lowest of lows. And let me know about your highest of highs, and I'll read them out on a future episode of this No Filter Friday show. But as I said, this was just going to be a little mini episode catching you guys up on what's going on in my crazy, insanity-laced world over here in Tennessee. Hope everything's going great with you guys out there, wherever you may be listening or watching this from. But for now, I'm going to wrap this up, but we will be back. I said my game plan and intention is to have full weekly episodes of the No Filter Friday show back up and functional starting next Friday, the 22nd of August. Anything comes up between now and then, shoot me a message on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, NFFSHOW. Let me know what's been going on in your world. Let me know what you guys think of this little mini episode. Give me your doldrum moments. Give me your high spots. Give me your game show experiences if you have any. But for now, let's wrap this up. This has been the No Filter Friday show, abbreviated episode. I, of course, have been John Knopick. Thank you guys very, very, very much for tuning in, be it on podcast feed or on YouTube. And as always, guys, ladies and gentlemen, take my advice. Pull down your pants and slide on that ice. Have a great week. Stay safe. Love each other. And we will see you guys on the next episode. Adios.